Coach Mike from MAD4Tri with some tips and advice on your pedal stroke, how you can make it more efficient, and what the things you can do so that you can be as fresh as possible when you get off the bike and ready to run. So let's get started. So one of the first things that you can do, especially as a triathlete, is ensure that your cleat is as far back as you can on your shoe. Ideally, if you could even get it back to midfoot, that would be preferable. Why? Because if it's further forward on the foot, as you're coming through the pedal stroke, you're putting a lot of pressure pushing your toes up, and you need to counterbalance that by engaging your calf muscle and the stabilizer muscles in your ankle, and those will fatigue them, and you need those to be able to run after you get off the bike. So ideally you have this pushed back, then that creates more stability that you don't have to counterbalance as you're pedaling through the stroke. So that brings me to one of the other things I see a lot of cyclists do, is as they're pedaling through, that you've heard that they need to be pulling up on the back of the stroke, and what that leads to is them raising their heel up too much. Again, to raise the heel and point the toe down, you've got to engage your calf muscle, and they're coming through all the way through the pedal stroke with their heel up, and even coming down through this part of the pedal stroke with the toe pointing down. So to compare that, that would be like me asking you to stand on your toes and hold that for about 10 minutes, or walk around on your toes for about 10 minutes, and then go and try and run. And you probably wouldn't feel very good. So as triathletes, we could be biking for 40, 90, 180 kilometers, and if you're doing that and you're having that toe pointing down the whole time, you're engaging that calf muscle the whole time and you're tiring it out. If it can be more relaxed in a more flatter position, then you'll be fresher for the run off the bike. So the thing to keep in mind is that on the pedal stroke, you never really want to be bringing your heel up more than 20 degrees above level as you're coming through the pedal stroke. In fact, when you get to the top, you're going to start thinking that you're dropping your heel down, and in fact, when you get to 3 o'clock, your heel's probably down about 10 degrees. So what should you be thinking about as you come around this back part of the pedal stroke? You've been told, the 360, the full circle, but really all you want to do as this foot is coming back is you just want to unweight the pedal. What you want to do is you want to ensure that your opposite leg, all the power that that's putting into the pedals is used to be pushing the bike forward, not lifting the weight of this leg. So all the effort that you need to do, you don't have to do anything more than lift the weight of this leg up, so that leg, the opposite leg, is not having to use any of its power or force to lift the weight of this leg, and everything is going into pushing the bike forward. So as you're coming around, all you do is you are just unweighting the pedal so that you're getting all the power going forward. So the other thing that I see a lot of the athletes do is as they're coming around, most of the power starts between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. That's where the biggest portion of your power comes in your pedal stroke. So as you're coming around, a lot of athletes only start thinking around 1 o'clock to start really focusing on putting the power into the pedal. And really what happens is only by about 2 o'clock are they actually full force into the power, and they've lost that little bit of the pedal stroke between 1 and 2 o'clock. And that can add as much as 10% of power with not a lot of extra energy expended to do that. So how do you fix that? Well, what you want to be doing is when you get up just before 12 o'clock, you want to start by engaging by dropping your heel just a little bit as you come through, and start putting the power in just before 12 o'clock. So by the time you get to 1 o'clock, you're fully engaged, fully putting power into the pedals, and then coming around. So what are a couple of cues that can help you with that? So one of them is as you're coming around the back, you're unweighting that leg, you get to just before 12 o'clock, you drop your heel, and you think that you're going to be kicking a football, soccer ball across the top of that pedal stroke, which actually kind of flattens out the top of the pedal stroke, and you come around. So you come around, and just before 12 o'clock, you're kicking that ball across, and coming around just before 12 o'clock, dropping that heel, kicking the ball across, and then coming around and then unweighting the leg. The other cue that can be very useful that I like, because for me it engages my glute muscles a little bit more when I think about it this way, is when you come up around the top. Very similar, you're still dropping your heel before you get to 12 o'clock, but you're thinking that you're driving your knee towards the handlebars. And you're pushing that knee across. You're not moving your hips forward. You're only thinking about driving that knee across your handlebars, and again flattening out that pedal stroke and then powering all the way through. So if you think of these cues, especially engaging it just before you get to 12 o'clock, you'll make sure that you're getting the full power engaged between 1 and 4 o'clock and becoming a lot more efficient on that. So putting that into practice takes some time. You know, you're going to go it the first time and you may even lose some efficiency because you're trying to do these new techniques. It takes a lot of focus to be able to change what your body's been doing for many, many years. So I recommend doing some single leg pedal strokes, and I don't mean unclipping the opposite leg. Keep both feet clipped in because it changes your biomechanics when you unclip one leg. But just, you know, go in and maybe as part of your warm-up, do 10 minutes where you're alternating 1 minute per leg, and you're really focused on that pedal stroke, you know, that either that kicking motion or driving the knee forward, feeling that your foot is staying flat all the way around, and you're repeating that left and right for about 10 minutes. The other thing too is on long bike rides, it's a really good time to almost meditate on this. Is, you know, just I count my pedal strokes to keep me focused, and I'm just thinking about the whole motion that I need to be creating throughout my long bike rides. So just to recap, what's really important is that you're keeping that heel, not raising it up too high, not more than 20 degrees as you're coming around the full pedal stroke, that you're engaging into your power phase early enough, so just before you get to 12 o'clock, you're dropping that heel and either thinking about kicking the football or you know, driving the knee forward, and then powering all the way through, making sure that you have got the power all the way from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And then you're not overextending and lifting your heel too much and focus too much on the pulling back and up on the pedal. It's really just unweighting that pedal so that all the power on your opposite leg is going into moving the bike forward and not lifting the weight of the leg. So I'm hoping that these tips have helped you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you out on the track sometime soon.